All right, Tina, picture it.
Okay.
The ground rumbling from the engines, the excitement from the speed, and the roar of the crowd. Well, that is what you can expect at a Tucson Speedway.
And you will also get to cheer on these gentlemen, drivers Ron Norman and Matt Levin, during the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, let's start out with what is that K&N Pro Series? What does that mean?
Well, K&N Pro Series is a NASCAR development series, and it's sponsored by K&N Filters. And they've taken on the series, and now they've signed on through 2021. And it's a development series, and it's the fourth tier of NASCAR. So you have Sprint Cup, Xfinity Series, Camping World, and then K&N. And so all the drivers that are running in K&N are working on getting to the higher levels of NASCAR.
So you're doing good with the series.
Yes, we're doing well.
Now, what will this series mean for Tucson, and specifically Tucson Speedway?
Well, this is the first time the series has been back in almost 20 years. It used to be called the Winston West Series. We have some local drivers, Herschel McGriff and Kevin Harvick's of the world that are in the Cup level now. Used to race out there in Tucson in the Winston West Series. So it's kind of exciting to have them back in Tucson and the heritage that Tucson brings to the series.
Oh, yeah. And how did you both get kind of involved with this series?
K&N Pro Series. We were asked after a couple meetings back in December with Tucson Speedway and some team owners to bring a K&N Series race to Tucson and to bring them back to Tucson. So then they also like to promote local drivers that are doing well at their track. So Matt and I finished first and second in the points last year.
Oh, look at that.
And we were champions, you know, past champions for many times. And they asked us if we'd be interested in running the May 2nd race. So we obviously signed on immediately.
Yeah.
And agreed to help the track promote the race and do a lot of things. Well, through a couple more conversations with the car owners and the teams, we were asked to run full seasons in the K&N Pro Series and go out and do what we're doing right now. So we're running the full series and running a full season with John Woods Racing. Very proud of the opportunity, and thanks for Tucson Speedway and John Lashley for putting the initial meeting together for us and giving us his blessing all the way.
Well, absolutely. And okay, so from someone who probably will never be in a race car ever, I find what you do fascinating and really just cool. Can you talk about a little bit about your careers and maybe some of the high points of your career, each of you?
Well, I started racing back in the late 90s out here at Tucson. It was Tucson Raceway Park at the time. Started off in a street stock car, which is pretty much a junkyard Camaro that you bring out and you just start going. And I sat in the stands and watched all my, my heroes out there. I said I'd like to do that. So had no clue what I was doing, but met Ron Norman along the way. And so over the last 16 years, we've moved all the way up to the top division of our local series out here. And we do all our own work. We fabricate our cars. We have great support in Tucson here with local businesses and like GAT and Larry's Engine and Marine that helps us out with our cars, and had a lot of success. I won a championship, and Ron's had 9 out there, so and I've usually ran bridesmaid to him most of those years. But
is that a technical term, bridesmaid?
that's the term I'm giving it.
Yeah.
We call it, there's a worse term, but we're not going to say it. But Matt and I, we teamed up years ago, and it's been just a blessing to be with the Levin family and the Port of Tucson, and it has really helped me to excel and win 9 championships and win state championship of Arizona and win we have got 100-something wins between us at the track, and I stepped up from the beginning just like he did, and in the very lowest levels all the way to the highest levels, and now we're getting an opportunity to showcase what we've learned all these years in the K&N Pro Series, and we are doing all the work ourselves on these cars. We prepare them for each race, we load them in the trailer, and we drive them to the tracks. Still, even though if it's in Iowa, Tucson, Northern Washington. So that's our testament to what we've learned over the years, and sometimes you don't get to showcase all that. So.
Well, and to be a winner, we know along the way, let's be real, it's a competition. There's, it's some good competition out there. Now, you guys were talking about being kind of like a smaller team. Talk about competition versus smaller teams versus maybe a bigger team.
Well, that's the truth. We run probably, our budget's maybe a third of what some of these other teams have out there. We're kind of going at this backwards. Most of these kids are, 15, 16, 17 years old. I'm 40 and Ron, you're what, 45?
45.
And so we're kind of at the end of that. We've kind of went through the whole race, and now we're going back to compete with some of the best talent in the world. And like Kevin Harvick's, the Kurt Busch's of the world, they all ran this series. So pretty neat seeing the other teams and getting information from them and seeing this young talent out there and be able to compete with them. We just got back from Irwindale 2 weeks ago, and Ron was running up in the top 4 of a 27-car field. I was running up in the top 8, and so it's pretty impressive. 2 local guys that, you know, with the resources we have now, competing with some of the best out there.
Well, absolutely, and we want to make sure that fans have all the information because this is open to the public. We want people to come out and watch you guys, and we are just so grateful that you came on our show today to tell us more about this Pro Series. It sounds really cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
We appreciate it, and we're also helping promote the race, and you can go to normanlevinracing.com or stormandronnorman.com and pick up tickets this week and get out there. We really want to see the stands full.
Yep.
Well, you heard him. You can experience the K&N Pro Series starting with a practice on May 1st and the event itself, which is on the 2nd, and it starts at 5 p.m. For more information, you can call 792-1600, or as we said, you can log on to TucsonSpeedway.com as well as NormanLevinRacing.com to learn more about the racers.